Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Jeff Lozano. Welcome to Dedicated to the Craft, a podcast by Ballast Point. Today, we are talking to Ballast Point's official fishing team. Holy crap. Let me just tell you, these guys are wild. I had such a great time talking to these dudes. Their energy is on another level, their octane is unmatchable. And a lot of people don't even know we have a fishing team. But on this episode, you are going to meet our fishing team. So sit back, crack open a beer, and let's get this started. So let's do it. I'm bringing on my co-host today, who is Matt Moyer, the Fish Destroyer, the official captain of the team. What's going on, dude?
Hey, cheers, my friend.
How are you, man?
Happy quarantine.
Happy quarantine. Doing a lot of drinking, a lot of sitting, a lot of nothing.
Yeah, but I'm trying to exercise too, so I don't put on those pounds during this.
You got to equalize it, man. You got to equalize it. Hey, man, thanks for jumping on the show. I'm really excited to talk to you and the boys. Fishing team captain, man. You guys have been at this since 2013. Am I right?
Maybe before that.
When did you guys when did you guys become the official Ballast Point fishing team?
Well, I've been kind of semi-sponsored by them, I think, since like 2005, maybe.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah, long time.
Free beer, right? That's what that means.
Yeah, but then brought Mike and Scott on about the time you were saying before. They've been actually longer than that. I know that I think they've been with the company. They've been sponsored by them for about 10 years. So
very cool, dude. Well, we're gonna bring on Scotty P and Mike in a little bit, but right before we do that, I was looking over your resume, man. You are a studded fisherman, sir. You have quite the list of accolades, dude. How long have you been doing this for?
Oh, I mean, it's an addiction. You know, some people do different things, and we fish. So I've been doing this since I could hold a fishing rod, from what I can remember. You know, going down to Santee Lakes, and I've always fished my whole life.
It's kind of like one of those things. I didn't grow up in a fishing family. My old man didn't do it. I didn't have any. I don't have any brothers. No cousins did it. I think I went once to like a canal back in the Imperial Valley where I'm from, and we caught like some 8-eyed catfish or something. We ate it, but it was like it wasn't anything that I got really into. But so it's not in the family, and I'm assuming that a lot of the guys out there that are really dedicated to the sport, and really passionate about the hobby, they have like a long line of people doing it, or they got into it really young, right?
Correct. Yeah, and that's basically kind of the way that Mike, Scotty, and I are. I mean, each one of us, Scotty has a boy and a girl, Mike has 2 boys, and I have a boy and a girl, and all 6 of them fish. You know, they just I almost like they're not allowed not to fish. So, but each one of them are little slayers in their own mind. Like, I mean, they put the average person to shame. You know, and I watched my 9-year-old girl, you know, catch spotty after spotted bay bass. But I mean, she's a good stick, as well as Mike's got the best stick probably out of all of us, is the honey badger. I think you just met him.
Oh yeah, we'll be talking to him.
Yeah, his name is Jackson, and he's an absolute slayer. Already has about, I think, 10 San Clemente Island trips under his belt. So
I'm assuming that's pretty good.
That's like 62 miles out. That's the Navy Island that you see during the sunsets.
So I want to bring on Scotty P and Mike, your teammates on the fishing team, so that we can start getting into why fishing is a lot more than just that. What's going on, guys?
What up?
What's up?
What's up, guys?
Yeah. Hey, cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Thanks for being on the show, man. I'm really excited to talk to you guys.
Always be good times, as always.
It's already good times, dude. Right before the show, we were already having good times. Why don't you guys tell me a little bit about what got you guys into fishing in the first place, and how long you guys have been on the scene doing it professionally? We'll start with you, Scott.
Yeah, you know, I started really young. My dad and my grandfather got me into fishing at a pretty young age. You know, I was probably about 4 or 5 years old. And it kind of grew from there. Through high school, I started getting more into the competitive mode and started fishing a little bit more tournament style fishing. and then basically went to. I used to fish a lot of freshwater tournaments, and then finally started fishing saltwater tournaments, and that's kind of where me and Mike met. Me and Moyer met also. We were actually all competitors when we started.
Was that 2014? Was that when you guys at some point you and Mike won like a back-to-back tournament, right? It was pretty impressive. Nobody had ever done that before.
Yeah, that was Angler of the Year.
Angler of the Year, that's right.
So basically, there's a couple of tournament circuits that are out there, and a certain tournament circuit that we were fishing, I think at the time, was SWBA and saltwater bass anglers, and they have a scheduled tournament circuit where they have 4 or 5 tournaments per year, and it's accumulative points based on your placement for each tournament. So the holy grail of tournament fishing is basically Angler of the Year. It's the most accumulated points for the year. And for SWBA, I think we won 2014 and 15 back to back.
Mike, you had something to do with that?
I just watched Scotty. That was it.
I like watching Scotty fish too.
Yeah. No, it was really cool because, Scotty and I teamed up, and once we did it, I think our first tournament we got 5th place, and after that it was pretty much we did really, really well. And it was just the chemistry that Scotty and I have, that we both want to catch the biggest fish, so we're always trying to outdo each other, and it always ends up doing well in a tournament situation.
So the competitiveness of trying to get the biggest fish in the pond is what makes it such a force, right? The team, like once you guys are all put together, that competitive drive really just kind of helps the team. Or is it somebody has to kind of take a seat or step back or back seat when somebody's reeling in something?
Yeah, there's no stepping back. Scotty and I, it's just we both are on the same page. So if I say, hey, I feel this, there's no hesitation. Scotty says, let's go do it. You know what I mean? There's no like, oh, I think this, or I want to be on the front, or you know what I mean? There's no, it's on, we're just on the same page. So it always worked out.
Well, and from the competitive side, just like Mike was saying, the sport that we were doing at the time when we were competing was it's very in your face, live. You're in the surf. There's a lot of chances where you could roll your boat. You have to have somebody that's really good on the engine and somebody that's really good from a fishing standpoint, where you as a team can work together, where somebody can keep the boat in position and another person's actually fishing. But me and Mike, we have the same goal. We fish to our fullest, and we have a lot of confidence in what we do. So for the most part, we always agree. We never really have any confusion in the boat when we're fishing. We're all on the same page, and we're after the same goal. So
Hey Jeff, can I interject?
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
So the thing is, you had said earlier about like the relaxing, like fishing. What fishing is a sport, and the thing is us three, we don't fish like anybody else fishes. Like when we go out fishing, it's not like hook, bobber. You're sitting there drinking it. No, it's like we're going to the ocean. We're hauling ass. By the time we're done fishing, our hands look like claws.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
whether
yeah.
we're doing the bass fishing or the tuna fishing, it's like we're burning calories for sure.
Yeah,
Would you
I
agree,
saw a
guys?
little bit of footage of you guys on the boat, and yeah, you're absolutely right. That does not look like I'm whistling on the dock trying to just to get lunch. You guys are really taking another approach to this. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about how it goes from just being something that you're just getting lucky on, and then something that you guys are being able to repeat time and time again?
yeah, I mean, from a luck versus reward, hard work standpoint, yeah, in any given day, especially when you're competing, a luck plays a little bit into it, but luck only lasts for so long. So yeah, you might have one lucky event where you kind of get into an area and everything kind of comes together. But if you're repeating that all year long in every single event, it starts not to be luck. There's definitely things that we do in our fishing that take the luck factor out of it. A lot of it is condition reading. A lot of it is the areas that we're fishing in. A lot of times where we're fishing right where the surfers, it's the same breaks that the surfers are surfing. So they're very controlled and they're very small. So if you're running, sometimes me and Mike, we'll run, 14, 15 reefs in a day, all up and down the coast on different breaks. And we're literally fishing for resident fish that are living on that one small reef. And that one small reef it could be as small as 20 yards. It can be as large as a football field.
So you guys met, Scott and Mike, you guys assembled the team. And then Matt, how did the three of you get together and start the fishing team that you guys have now?
So,
go ahead, Moyer.
So Mike and Scott have been doing this for a long time, like this tournament fishing and everything like that. And I kind of came in probably, I would say, 5 to 6 years after them. And you start to get to know people. You talk to them in the parking lot when you're launching and stuff. And like, I was always kind of like just drawn to them because of their personalities. And like Scott's wife does the same thing my wife does. And then, like I really have the hots for Mike's wife. So like we really
yeah. That will bring y'all together for sure.
So, oh geez. No, but anyways, like plus here's the thing is like I'll admit it, I was a total pro. Like I was like really I was geeking out on fishing and tournaments, and I wanted to win. I'm very, very, very competitive. I played baseball my whole life, and the thing is like when Mike and Scott, they had it. Like both of them on separate teams did really well. So when they came together, like we would just talk, and I was talking to them and asking them questions. But dude, it was just constant laughter and like love, and it wasn't always talking about fishing. It was talking about beer and kids,
right,
and what we were going through, and it's like it didn't have anything to do with fishing. So like we just actually the three of us just kind of just like really bonded, and as you can see, like none of us take us seriously. I used to be very sensitive. Mike's toughing me up. He's from the street.
Yeah, I can see that.
He'll talk a little bit about that. The guy's from Compton. He doesn't mess around.
Oh, that's badass. That's beautiful, man. So, Mike, you have to talk about how you got into fishing, dude.
Dude, I gotta say one thing. I got new teeth. Check this out.
Oh, let me see them. Oh, look good.
His teeth go Jack.
Yeah, wow.
You're Scotty laughing.
Those are looking good.
I'm telling you right now.
Molars.
Shoot, white, my white. So check this out. So my dad worked in the oil fields, and he worked in the offshore oil fields off of Seal Beach Pier. So I used to fish lakes and stuff when I was a kid, but nothing. But my dad had to go to work. I think my mom was working at the time, but so they had to drop me off at the pier. And Frank was a bum that would stay on the pier and fish. So my dad would drop me off to Frank the bum, who was my babysitter. So he would drop him off when my dad went to work. He'd get on the boat and go across to the island to work all day. And so me and Frank would fish all day. And then when my dad got off of work, he was like, "How's fishing?" I'm like, "Oh, it's good." He's like, "Well, I'm going to go to the bar." I'm like, "Okay, I'm going to fish all day, all night." So I would just fish all day and all night on Seal Beach Pier. I did that for a long time. So Frank the Bomb was like a big inspiration to me, So I mean, but you understand, my mom used to take me to the lakes and stuff. But as far as saltwater fishing, Frank the Bum gets a lot of credit. So
Frank the Bum was your inspiration to get to go pro?
No, not to go pro. I mean, you got to understand something. So there's a whole story behind me. But I stopped fishing for a very long time, and then when I met my wife in 96.
Get it right, bro.
No, 97, 98, 97. I got out of the Marine Corps. So I got out of the Marine Corps in 97. I met my wife in 98. So in 98, I was trying to impress her. So I used to take her to Newport Bay, And we used to rent these little boats and stuff. We used to catch bat
Dude, I
rays.
pulled that same move, bro.
Oh yeah, dude, right?
Same
Dude,
spot. You have to
yeah,
wait in
same
line.
spot.
Couples just in
That
line.
was the deal.
So
yeah.
I changed my whole lifestyle once I met my wife. I changed my whole lifestyle. I got out of the Marine Corps, and then I went back to the streets. As Moyer mentioned, I was raised in Compton for a long time, and so when I met my wife, I changed my whole lifestyle, and we used to start fishing, and then I remember I was surfing with a buddy of mine named EB. He used to run a saltwater bass anglers, SWA. And he's like, hey, man, you should go fishing with me. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that'd be killer, man. I used to fish, because I grew up on, I used to live on this Annie B barge out in Seal Beach where they used to take people to go fish on the barge and stuff. And I lived on there during the summers. And so fishing was always, in my lifestyle. And but, certain things and certain lifestyles or timelines in your life would take you away from that. But when I got back into it, for the competitive part, I went fishing with Eric Bent, and he took me out to the Long Beach breakwater, and I smoked him. And I was doing like the old man pop, right, with the lure, just like popping it up, and I was smoking him, like catching 4s and 5s and 6-pounders. And dude, he got so pissed off. He was like throwing his rod. He's like, "What's going on here?" And I'm just like, "Oh, I'm on!" Right? And so he was taking me back in. We were coming back in. He's like, "Hey, take a look at the breakwater." I'm like, "What's up?" He's like, "That's the last time you're going to see it." So that's when I decided to buy my own boat. That's when I decided to buy my own boat, and bought my own boat, and then that's when I started putting in the work.
If probably a lot of people are going to be listening to this aren't that great at fishing. They're not to your caliber. If somebody wanted to go out to let's do it two separate. If someone was to take someone to a lake, what would you suggest? If someone took somebody to the bay, what would you suggest?
Yeah, that's a good question. So anybody that would want to go out there and just give it a shot.
Yeah, no, I mean, from a freshwater side, park lakes are an excellent resource. It's cheap. They're free. You don't have to really worry about much. Most of them are stocked with a lot of bluegill, a lot of bass. You can go there. You can fish red balls on bobbers and catch bluegill and have a ball all day long. Then you can kind of get into a little bit more where you start going to the pay lakes where they're actually stocking fish. You can catch trout. Usually it's a little more seasonal. It's usually like wintertime fishing. And then from the salt side, you kind of go from the beginnings of, like you were kind of talking about in the beginning, where you're seeing guys fishing off the jetties and the piers, to where you kind of get into an area of, well, let's go rent a boat in the bay and go fishing in the bay for a little while. But I mean, resource wise, from just getting into fishing, your local parks are almost as good as it gets for freshwater. And for saltwater, any piers, any jetties will get you started. Any of the bays, go grab some, a couple hooks and some weights and some mussels, some go shrimp. And that's kind of how we all started. I mean, I know when I was younger, I started fishing. My dad taught me fishing in freshwater. I started fishing for bluegill. And, we used to just go get mealworms and night crawlers.
Dude, mealworms were my go-to.
Mealworms are the best.
Dude,
yeah,
That's bait. That's what you guys are putting on the line, on the hook.
Bacon, bud.
Jeez, yeah.
The first time I ever got bit on a soft plastic bait, or on something that was not a live bait, something that was artificial. And I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember being at a lake. I was fishing for bluegill and bass with night crawlers, and some guy came there. He had plastic worms, had no clue what that was. And I remember him giving me one, putting it on he actually tied it up for me because I had no clue. And I'll never forget that first bite that I got on that artificial bait. And I never went back to live bait fishing. Not for bass, not for any of that. I chased that artificial tap, that bite. I chased that, and I've been chasing it for 30 years.
Hey,
so,
the thing that's crazy is we all have kids and we all take them out. Berkeley makes this stuff called gold, and they have these like little grubs and stuff. and we take our kids out, and like up there, they're up in Orange County, so they fish Long Beach Federal Breakwall, and down here I fish San Diego Bay. But you put that little gulp on there and with the kids, and I'm telling you right now, it gets hit like almost every single time, and like people like are their minds are blown when I take them out on the beach. They're like, I'm getting bit so much, and and that's where we were talking about like technique versus what.
Right.
It's just that we're on the water all the time, dude. If you put a bait fisherman next to us, dude, we'll probably outfish them because we're getting so many casts and so many casts, and we can cast further. Depending on what we're fishing for, but obviously there's times when fish are just keyed in on live bait. But I mean, if it goes to bass, like you put Scotty next to a live bait bass fisherman, I think Scotty's gonna beat him because Scotty's fishing on an artificial bait. He knows how to get that fish to react to that bait, what it needs to do, and we have a specific way that we get the calicos to react. We have polarized sunglasses by Costa, so like we can see the water and actually see the fish and how they react to the bait. Scotty and Mike both taught me this, and it's absolutely once like I was totally blind to it when I went out with them for the first time. I was blown away. Scotty's like, "You're looking at your bait. Look behind your bait. Look into the water." And I started seeing these fish. I had fish following it, and I could see it in the shallows. And I was like, "No way!" And he's like, "Yeah." He's all, "Now watch this." Oh! But we have a blast. I mean, that's the thing with calico bass fishing. It's so interactive. Like bass fishing is fun because it's a lot of interaction between the anglers, especially when you have them on the boat. Yeah, we fish by ourselves sometimes, but a lot of it's about we've gotten kind of out of that competitiveness where it's more about lifestyle.
Yeah.
You guys?
Yep. Oh, for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
How often are you guys fishing then now? Typically.
8 to 12. Well, I've been fishing.
Wear a mask, dude.
Social. What do you call it? Distancing.
Well, prior to this whole predicament, how often were you guys going out there and getting it on?
Probably 12 times a month, huh? If not more.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I was half that. Those guys were hardcore.
Wow, 12 times a month, and this is going out to really. This isn't like I said before. This isn't regular fishing. This is you guys are going out, and are you guys going out with somewhat of a mission? Hey, I'm gonna go catch this. It's this time of the year. I have to get one this year. Kind of like that.
Yeah, we've been fishing, putting a lot of time in for the tuna. The bluefin tuna in our area has been the best we've ever seen since the 20s. We're getting up to, people are getting up to 350 pound bluefin tuna 60 miles out.
Jesus.
And, for us on the 22-foot boat, 24-foot boats, that's really exciting to try to do something like that and to accomplish that. We've got a couple big fish on our boat doing that. So we've been chasing that for the last few years, and the last what Scotty, 5 years now, Moyer, 6 years. These bluefin are coming in,
probably about 6 years now.
And we've kind of, this is the best fishing we've ever had in our waters. And
is that like a nice gold standard? Is the blue tuna like what's your favorite fish out there? And when I say that, it's like what is the most pat on the back? Hey, take a picture of this. I caught one of these bad boys.
Sculpin.
A crowler.
Dude, I caught a giant sculpin the other day.
How big do sculpins get? I don't know,
but I caught
big sculpin.
I don't know. I caught a 3-incher the other day though.
They can get big. They can get like 4 or 5 pounds.
Really?
I would say on the large side, but most of them, I'd say the average is probably 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds for a sculpin.
Dude, I got one literally 3 inches the other day.
That's poor man's lobster right there.
When you guys are out there and you guys are fishing competitively and you guys are in a tournament or something like that, it's seasonal, I'm assuming, where whenever the tournament is kind of surrounded.
It's year round.
With the area and what might be
for calico bass is year round. So the tournament circuits now they run year round, and
nice.
They kind of give the summertime break off because of the tuna have moved in. They allow the guys to focus on the tuna, but the tournament
guys, when the tuna's out there, they're not going to go fish tournaments. They're going to go chase tuna.
Yeah.
So they kind of morph the tournament circuit timeline based on more of the winter, spring time, and then they let the summer kind of roll so the tuna guys can go catch their tuna.
Hey, Scotty.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're a tuna.
Why am I a tuna?
You're
a tuna guy.
You're like a yellowfin.
No, dude, I'm like,
Are those insults? Those sound like badass fish.
I'm like a blobfish. Right. You said 350, dude, on those tuna. I'm like way more than that after.
Hey, Moyer.
After quarantine.
Moyer, you're a lizard fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, Moyer. Dude, Moyer. I had a question for you actually because when I was looking you guys up, dude, there seems to be this weird kind of like, at least in my opinion, it seemed as though that there was like this badassness about fishing on a kayak and pulling in a big crazy fish when you're doing it out of a kayak. Is that like a separate thing where I know that you were into kayak fishing a lot, and is that a whole separate thing with its own separate set of rules and stuff like that? Or is
Scotty,
it just basically it's making it harder? That's all it is.
First of all, Jeff,
how jealous are you right now?
Dude, I'm
Citrus
so
Cove, baby.
Dude, Citrus Cove, baby. Oh,
and Scott's wearing the shirt.
Citrus Cove is probably one of my most favorite beers that Ballast Point's come out with in the last couple of years.
Yeah, dude. Hey, dude. Seriously, what is Citrus Cove? That's what we asked Brendan. We're like, dude, this should be like Garibaldi.
It's a ghost style beer.
Garibaldi Cove.
It's funny that you guys. It actually did really well, being
It's delicious.
kind of. It's an old style, man. It's a contemporary goza. It's known for having a little bit of citrus, and a little bit of salt in the base recipe in its an original form. But when it came out, a lot of people were starting to bring it back because it was so refreshing. It's just a refreshing beer.
Oh, it's amazing.
That citrus component with the salt adds this weird, I don't know, this nice refreshing characteristic.
Like ceviche.
Super light, yeah, like ceviche, right? It's super carved up, right? It's light bodied. It's just refreshing, and the fact that you can, I forgot what the ABV was. I don't know what it was, Mike. You have a can of it right there.
4.2.
4.2. It's super light drinking, man. That's like a boat beer.
So even Keel was my like go-to. Yeah. I'm not a huge AVB guy. I like taste. And for me,
you like this, Scotty's.
Like this Passing Haze. Yeah. Passing Haze.
Another really good one.
What was even Keel was like what, Scott? Like 3.6?
Now that was
Keel
really
was like
light.
3.8. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, but it's like a session IPA. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a session IPA and it was really light. And this is a hazy session.
I like the hazy.
And
the hazy's bomb.
Easy drinking, man.
The haze is bomb. The Citrus Cove is really, really good. I mean, I like lower AVBs so that when we're out on the water and stuff, we're able to drink. We can drink a couple of them and still, do
function.
What we do.
Do you guys drink during tournament?
No.
Is it allowed, or you guys just don't do it?
It is allowed.
It was allowed, but we didn't do it.
It just messes you guys up. You guys just are not on your A game.
You got to understand something. We're in situations where waves are breaking. Mm-hmm. And so we got to be on our A game, so no drinking allowed.
Right. And how big is the boat when you guys are going out there on the team? I saw some footage of it. I've never been on it. I know Josh Neff has. I know Kenny Battle has. I haven't.
It's this big.
It's like that big.
And they're hitting you guys pretty hard, so you guys need your balance. You guys can't be messing around.
Where we're putting that boat, there's many times where we're taking waves. I mean, Mike will be on the helm, or I'll be fishing, or Mike will be on the, be fishing. I'll be on the helm, and waves are coming through. And
remember that time I fell over?
Yeah, Mike went straight in the drink head first. He was holding onto the trolling motor. We were fishing a reef inside. We had like 3 surfers on the left side of us, and we were throwing over the reef, and it was actually pretty mellow, and then a set rolled through. I saw like 2 waves back, and I'm like, that one's gonna be a problem.
I knew I was going over, so I did the perfectest flip ever.
You landed a 10.
Oh, dude, I did like the full butt splash into the rollover and
Oh yeah,
made it. It was a 10.
Mike
Hey,
is wearing a
oh,
shirt
it's the
that
best.
says "Ask me about my ninja disguise."
It's the best.
What about?
Hey, Mike,
Hey, Mikey Lane,
what's up with your
right there? There's Mikey Lane.
what's up with this ninja disguise, dude?
What are you talking about?
I don't know. Oh,
Do it again.
dude,
Well,
I definitely want to hop on the boat at some point.
I'll tell you what, dude. From the boat standpoint, 100%. But you know, I think the Ballast Point Fishing Team as a whole, you know, me, Mike, and Matt, we've been doing this for so long. We have a lot of, connections within the industry, and the way we wanted to kind of build this team was to get out of industry, just different. Where I watched, like, when, you know, skaters back in the 80s and 90s when skating was huge. You know, the guys that really did well went way out of brand. And we kind of are trying to do the same, where this team with Ballast Point are really trying to go out of brand. We have clothing companies that we're trying to cross brand with, like with Sims, you know, who's typically a really big on fly fishing, where we're trying to cross breed that into saltwater fishing, where we're taking this road with Ballast Point, you know, whose fish-inspired beers are a perfect advertising link to what we're doing.
Right. I mean, it just
because it's so localized from San Diego to Southern California. All the fish-inspired beers that they have, we have 10 steps off our beach.
Yeah.
Like we can go catch those anytime and display those and be kind of interwoven within that advertising movement that they're doing. It's just such a natural fit.
Well, our big thing is one of the reasons why I got this jersey on is San Diego. I mean, that's where Ballast Point was born, and we want to bring it back core. You know, you know, with the new sales, and we met Brendan, the new owner, who's just awesome.
Legend.
Yeah, that guy.
Legend.
High octane, dude. I love that man.
Australian, straight from the bush.
Great. Send it.
Yeah. And so, like,
oh yeah,
like when that happened, it reminded me of when Jack and Yusuf like started it, who you know I'm still friends with. And when, you know, as the food and beverage director at La Jolla Country Club, I put 4 Ballast Point tap handles on. I was like one of the first ones. Jack used to deliver kegs when people called out sick to the club. Now he's a member.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, and ever since I mean, when I started and I heard that we had a fishing team, it was always a no-brainer. It was one of those things where, like, of course we're gonna have a fishing team. That's rad. Of course, it's a match made in heaven. We did through the crazy road that Ballast Point's been on. I think we're back on level ground. Guys like Brendan, guys like Chris, Kings and Convicts coming back into the picture and really injecting that energy, that high octane kind of vibrancy back into the company is definitely something that we need to capitalize on right now in making it the company that it used to be and making it as fun as humanly possible, right?
Well, one of the things I wanted to say, Jeff, was you know, last year one of the biggest tournaments in San Diego is the San Diego Anglers Tournament, and you know it's only a 3-fish bass limit. You can only fish San Diego Bay. But Ballast Point lost them last year. Luckily, it got rained out, but 805 picked them up. But you know, once with the new owners and Maddie and Jeremy just crushing it, dude, we got back in there. We got San Diego Anglers with the biggest tournament again in San Diego support. My son and I were able to finish in the top 25, which is huge because of the 130 boat field. And they gave us a huge shout out in Ballast Point, a huge shout out on, hey, Ballast Point is back, dude. We're San Diego, we're San Diego roots, And it's not even San Diego roots because now we go as far as up to Disneyland, Long Beach. So that's the thing with where Mike and Scott come in, where they're up in that neighborhood. They're representatives. They have a wrap boat. Say hi to them. You know, they got koozies and keychains that we'll give out.
One of the cool things that we've been talking about on some of the last shows are our food pairings, and with our beer specifically. You guys do a lot of grilling. You guys catch a lot of fish. So I was just wondering, for anyone out there listening that wants to pair one of our beers with a special fish, if they can find it, what would you guys recommend?
Anything.
Hey,
God.
you guys want the chef to take this?
Yeah,
Yes, for sure.
Go ahead, Moyer. And then I'll tell you the real after.
Yeah. So no, I mean, so I am the food and beverage executive chef at La Jolla Country Club. I went to culinary school, graduated in '98 from San Francisco. So I've been at my current job for almost 19 years. I've done a few beer and food pairings, and you know the thing is what you got to be careful of whenever you do any kind of beer or wine is you got to be careful on the acid. And that's the thing, like why rich fatty foods are always good with beers. Mm-hmm. So like briskets, like a brisket with like Victory at Sea Day. I've made brisket with the Victory at Sea and slow braised it. Kind of a waste, right? But you know what? It gives it a flavor. I've also done sculpins with like sea scallops. One of my favorites.
Ooh, that sounds good.
One of my favorites, which is a really good food beer by Ballast Point, is the Wahoo Wheat. Now, I don't know if any of you know, but like Wahoo Wheat is supposed to be served with orange wedge because it has a lot of cardamom in it. So like the cardamom, you get into any kind of fish dish with it, especially like we were talking about, like right now, rockfish is open right now. So you can get those like copper, maybe Mike will be able to post on our Instagram page, which is Ballast Point Fishing Team. Go on there, the copper rockfish and that Wahoo Wheat with the orange, insane. You should be getting it from the beer, not the dish. But here's the thing you want to do with those.
Yeah, what do I need to know?
Take your you have red chili flake.
Yeah,
red chili flake. Toast it in a dry pan, and what that does is it blooms the spice. It gives it toast. It makes it kind of start to smell. You take that and then crush it up. Salt and pepper your scallops. A little bit of that chili powder on there. The crushed chili flake, and I'm telling you right now, you sear that on there with the spice and this regular sculpin, you're gonna crush it.
Jesus, I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try that tomorrow, gentlemen. You guys are animals, and I really, really enjoyed talking to you guys. This won't be the last time you guys come on. Everybody can follow you at Ballast Point Fishing Team. On all the social media platforms?
Instagram, Facebook is Ballast Point Fishing Team. You can search us out and find our individual stuff if you want to reach out that way. If you want to get a little more intricate, but a lot of people can reach out just on the Ballast Point Fishing Team pages. We look at those daily, constantly. Most a lot of times guys are asking us questions we're getting back with them within a few hours. So.
Dude, you know what? Awesome. We'll put that up.
Dude, our favorite though, honestly, is when we get tagged on Instagram at Ballast Point Fishing Team. I love it when I see like kids, moms, grandparents catching their personal best and tagging us. And it's just the raddest thing ever, you know, like some people are always like, hey, your gear is so dope. Like, take a picture, tag us, dude. We'll like it. We'll share it.
All right, you guys. Hey, listen. Cheers, animals.
Cheers, guys.
All right, you guys. Yeah, dog. Thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot. It's awesome talking to you guys. Cheers.
I got the grapefruit.
Slam it.
You are a grapefruit.
Woo! All right, guys. That was a wild ride. Those dudes are definitely dedicated to their craft. That was a lot of fun, and that energy is contagious. So thanks for tuning in. Subscribe. We're on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and we'll see you next time.